will enter now to the second part of the presentation, and we hear now Mr. Nuno Gomes. Mr. Gomes is Senior Consultant and Executive in Innovation and Innovation Manager with strong skills and proven and consistent track record on more than 20 years of entrepreneurship, startups, business models, innovations, and science and innovation management. He's an economist with a post-graduation in business turnarounds and management, was awarded with the European Diploma in International Management by the International School of Economics in Rotterdam. Since 2019, Mr. Gomes is a specialized science and innovator advisor of several blue economy projects in Portugal. He's mentor of several blue economy startups and recognized as a blue economy expert of Mistral projects. May I ask you to?
Hello. Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for welcoming us here in a beautiful island in a beautiful city of Palma. So what I would like to share with you is the results of some questionnaires that we took with different stakeholders from all the countries that are involved in the project. So basically, we produced questionnaires asking for the stakeholders to give us some suggestions of policy recommendations regarding the stimulation of innovation and the development of each subsector. But we have some methodological limitations here because not all the countries' partners answer the 5 sub-questionnaires, so we have some partners that only fulfilled 3 questionnaires and others all of them. We also have some limitations here in the number of the answers, so the number of stakeholders per country, per partner was also different. The final results were also different. We have some partners, the minimum was 5 and the maximum was 28. But we consider in these results and these results that I will show you in a minute, that each questionnaire, it has the same value. So perhaps here it is not reproducing or reflecting the best reality because sometimes we are making more importance to one region than in another. In the third place, not all the questions in a questionnaire were answered by the stakeholder. So the stakeholder has to answer all the questions of the questionnaire, but sometimes for some reason we do not have the results. And in the other side, we have some questions in a questionnaire that we only ask for one answer, but some stakeholders give us 2 or 3 answers. So this was more or less to share with you some limitations of the evaluation of the results that I would like to share with you. But the most important for us is to show you the results of the answers of the stakeholders regarding the key factor to stimulate innovation in certain subsectors. So we collect the questionnaires in the 5 subsectors that Alexander presented in the beginning. We put some questions and put some suggestions, and we have these results. So if we're talking about the marine renewable energies, we ask the stakeholders to give us their suggestion, their key point, not only for their national and regional reality, but also for EU reality. So for this subsector in particular, the main policy recommendation in terms of national and regional policies was that they should be articulated for solving conflicts about the use of maritime space. So maritime space is a key point here in this subsector. So in terms of national regional legislation and policy recommendations, this is the main recommendation that our stakeholders made. They also give importance to give the regional and national governments give the society and the stakeholders the national and a clear view of their national and regional strategy, ambition, project pipeline, and supporting policies in their national energy. Sometimes we only find some references, but we don't see a clear view of the regional governments and national governments regarding the development of innovation in marine renewable energies. And this is also the main policy recommendation regarding the EU policies. As you can see, with 35% of the stakeholders saying that it's also important to have articulated policies regarding the maritime space, and at the same time, EU funding is also a very important instrument to develop new pilot projects in this subsector. If we move to marine surveillance, the key word here is integration of systems. So we have different countries or different regions surveilling our sea using different technologies, different platforms. So here the main policy recommendations to stimulate innovation in this sector are related always with integration. So in national and regional terms, the main policy recommendation is the creation of specific national strategies for integrated and interoperable maritime situational awareness, and also policies for integration of different systems, which is also the second choice for European Union policies. But here, in terms of European Union, the main recommendation is regarding the transnational cooperation between the countries in order to have an integrated system to surveil the sea. If we move on to fisheries and aquaculture, we see that are exactly the same policy recommendations. Our stakeholders think that is the same policy recommendations either for national and regional terms and for EU. So basically the main policy recommendations are policies to support the creation of a clear and comprehensive legislation for fishing tourism and other interactions between small-scale fisheries and other sea uses. But also the maritime special planning has a very high importance here. In this case, in order to define different spaces or different areas to develop fishing and fish species according to their evolution and their growth. In blue biotechnology, we, in terms of national and regional, in regional national terms, our stakeholders say that the main policy recommendation is the support at national level, special to develop commercial applications. There is nowadays a lot of research and development made in this area in each country, but they still need some stimulus to develop research and development, but with commercial applications. So basically, our research and development that we are making until now, it's basically scientific, and now it's the time to move on to be more commercial. So our stakeholders think this is very important to stimulate more innovation and more practical innovation, and also the valorization of this research and development to put it in the market. Also, specified policy dedicated to blue biotech. So we see that in regional and national terms, sometimes we are giving only importance to biotechnology. It is important for some reasons, if the blue economy is really strategic, to give more importance to blue biotechnology other than other kinds of biotechnologies. In terms of EU policy recommendations, also here the financing, so specific EU calls for the valorization of fisheries is one of the main choices, together with policies to support the sector at EU level also as well in terms of commercial applications. And finally, in coastal and maritime tourism, the keywords are sustainability and environment. So basically, the main policy recommendations that our stakeholders made was regarding these two very important words that we are facing every day. So in regional national terms, action plans and cooperation for sustainability and environment, and harmonized regulations for good quality of waters, habitats, biodiversity, and including specific climate plans are the main policy recommendations. In terms of EU, here as well, create EU funding instruments to study carrying capacity in order to make a better diagnosis of the reality, and based on this diagnosis, develop new policies, and also laws to frame and reduce the potential negative impact of tourism activities in the environment. So, to recap very shortly, the EU policy recommendations for each sector, so only the main choice made by our stakeholders are for marine renewable energies, EU funding instruments to develop and finance pilot projects and increase funding and research and development. In terms of marine surveillance, promotion of transnational cooperation between countries in order to develop an integrated system of surveilling the sea. Fisheries and aquaculture policies to support a creation of clear and comprehensive legislation for fishing tourism and other kinds of use of the sea that make interaction with tourism. For blue biotechnology, also specific EU calls regarding the valorization of fisheries and aquaculture byproducts and wastes. And finally, in coastal and maritime tourism, as I said before, create specific EU funding instruments to study carrying capacity in order to make the best diagnosis as possible to develop a very focused policy to fight the main problems. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Nuno, for that clear presentation, the general results.